Universal signing a check saying, here is the money for the buy-in.
No. That's the thing, bro. Like, I think if they're looking for Kojo or Josh Kaplan, like, I think they believe that those guys source the bots or the botting guys. Like, that's where they're trying to get it from, right? So that's what that part is. Yeah, the shit's crazy, bro. I feel like my theory is, I think Drake's contract was ending or coming to an end with Republic.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like they were too incentivized to keep him all that happy, like bring his stock down a bit. And then on the other side, you had John Janik, who has been really trying to beat these guys for years. And Kendrick's one of his artists, always been one of his artists. And I think he just said, fuck it, we're going at this thing full force. We're really going to put a dent in Drake this time.
Now, here's the thing. The counterpoint to everything, and that's what I'm saying, like, this is why I hate the era we're in when it comes to discussing this. Because if we're going to have legitimate, intelligent discussions, we can't do it from a place of stand-up. I don't give two fucks about Kendrick, but I do care about music. So oftentimes when I'm arguing, I might make a point that might be on his side, but it's not because of that. It's that I can't lead these type of discussions with the fact that I'm a Drake fan. For example, right? If we're talking about, you know, the entire battle and where Drake's contract was and what the hell was going to happen, he has a reasonable conversation or a reasonable discussion to have, like, hey, listen, I feel like you guys did some stuff to, like, devalue me. But then there is the other side as well, right? Which is, hey, we are just music publishers. And this is what I'm saying, like, I don't know why fans are so heavily invested in this, because it's not going to tell us anything. Like, this is like waiting for the Epstein files, and after it, we're like, where's the list? Where's the list, y'all?
You don't think, like, if they found bots, you don't think that would ever be publicly brought out, that they found them? Like, do you think that information would actually get out into the public?
It won't be connected to UMG.
No, that's true. Like you said, it'd be a third party, right? They would just say third party. We had no idea.
Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. UMG is going to also say we've also did our own internal review. We worked with Spotify. We conducted our own internal review and audits of our artist streams and songs that did well or whatever. And we were active in trying to fight against bots. Makes no sense that we would be paying for bots. But here's the thing. That's why I keep saying it's the music industry. The record labels they're the same ones that used to purchase records. Back in the day when the majority of sales came from this idea of not UPC scan, but it was records shipped, they would ship 1 million records that you could certify as something platinum. Then they would buy half of them, because now Best Buy or whatever is saying, yo, you gave us all these fucking records, nobody buying them. So they would do a huge buyback of some of these records, right? And then, you know, they would do sometimes the return game where they would stagger it over time, because those things used to get minused off via SoundScan. So the record labels are always going to finesse. It is part of programming the mind. It is part of programming the mind. I'm just saying, as long as there's a business of music, you will never erase that. They will do it at some way, somehow. It didn't start with Drake. It won't end with Drake. Okay. And if Drake wants to, the only thing I look at some of his fans like being like, oh my God, he's exposing something. Tell me that water is wet when you're saying that the labels will do some shiesty shit. I work with labels. All they do is shiesty shit. Okay. Yeah. So if that's the thing you were waiting to hear, well, you know it now. Like, so what else are we going to hear? For me, I think Drake wants his damn money. Get that man his money. I think UMG is going to pay to save some embarrassment and save some restructuring. Again, you can't destroy them, but you might change how the way they move. Remember, they started to move a little bit different. Yo, Pusha, chill out with that, because this nigga Drake about to file it on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they'll come to, and I don't think Drake is really on some fuck the labels, I'm going independent. That's nothing I don't think his audience is kind of like analyzing. Which part of this says Drake is about to just go independent and say, fuck it, I don't want to deal with the labels no more?
Yeah, it's just a theory,
left.
right?
He has one
it's just
album
like the
left.
way I,
and he dropped another album with UMG. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because here's this when people say Drake is going against the industry. And again, Drake's my guy, but we just got to call space spade. He tried it. He tried teasing it. You see all them 100 gig songs, Universal was just hours. Yeah, you can't do nothing. Contractually, they got you. And there is no going again. Like, Drake could file an emergency. You see, if Drake wanted to really go against the industry like some of his fans think, you file what Meg Thee Stallion did against 1501. You want an emergency injunction that UMG, because you have this theory that they were fucking with you, or they've been trying to suppress your career or do whatever, that they could no longer administrate your album until this case is resolved. Now you're technically a free agent. You could do what you want. But no, Iceman is going to say UMG, brother. And I'm telling you, Drake is he's gonna be in the major label system. I can't see another world.
So you don't think there's a possibility of him going with a different major and like dipping from UMG?
Yeah. That's a possibility. The only thing is that what people always have to remember, and okay, so this was the other part, and what was even discussed, and I talked to a bunch of people, high-level people at UMG, they were saying, hey, listen, Drake bugging out a bit. The reason why we're going to say he's bugging out is that, hey, Drake's catalog generates Republic so much revenue a year. We need Drake to be in good standing. We need Drake to keep putting out music. And we would never collude, or we would never be like, do anything to hurt him when his revenue is one of the main drivers of our label. So it's like the idea that, okay, maybe John, all right, let's just go down this rabbit hole. Let's say John Janik was like, yeah, let's get this motherfucker over there, right? Well, Monty Lippman is going to be like, nigga, no, you're not. Because if I'm not going to let you kill off my artist and boast in yours when we're in competition. So I'm going to put up some type of defense, and I think that's where that is at. But I can't see Drake going independent or nothing like that, bro.
It'd be a lot more work for him. But I know he moved OVO Sound over to Sony, right?
Yeah, but Drake don't move like an independent artist. Kendrick's moving like an independent artist, and even then, he's not fully independent because he did this licensing deal. But PG Lang has in-house everything. They have the botters in-house. They have the digital guys in-house. They have the fake news spreaders in-house. They have the A&Rs in-house. They have I'm serious. I'm not even lying to you. They have the content guys in-house. They've got some producers. Yeah, PG Lang, like, I think Kendrick did want to go independent. And I think what happened is, and this is what I was going to say about, when you say go to a different label. What ends up happening is it's kind of like the NBA. You know how the NBA, and I don't know if you're a sports guy, you could only get the Supermax from the team you were with. Well, here's the thing. Drake isn't at the beginning of his career. He's a seasoned artist. He's pushing 40, right? I mean, he's still in his prime, I would consider. But let's say Sony would say, yo, you know what, we'll give you $500,000. Now we got to think about recoupment. Recoupment on that, not $500 million. Recoupment on that $500 million when they own zero Drake product. When Universal gives Drake $500 million, they use the fact that they own a lot of his albums and they leverage it, that they could recoup faster. Hey, we own a bunch of these. Since we're giving you this money up front, that we could recoup off of your old stuff. Look, I went down the most streamed album this year. Take Care is one of them. Whatever deal that's why artists usually go back to their regular label. This is why do you think it's not really pronounced? Because TDE don't really say shit about shit. Kendrick didn't drop music for 5 years. He was getting out of his contract. He didn't not want to twofold be in a major label system and also not want to be at TDE. He wanted to build his own, right? After he develops his own thing, PG Lang, the nigga goes back and signs and license through
UMG.
UMG Interscope. Why?
Yeah.
Because his catalog already resides there. They're going to give him a more favorable deal. Why? They could leverage his back catalog, right? Because who do you think owns Good Kid, Mad City? It definitely ain't Kendrick Duckworth Lamar. It's owned by Universal. So they're going to give him a better deal than he could get anywhere else. So that's why you see people stay at their labels. So why would Sony go out to the tune of $500 million that's only going to just pretty much enrich Universal, who no longer has to market Drake, right? Because that's the thing. When they're marketing these artists now, they're knowing, oh, well, the 10-year anniversary of this is coming up and these albums are going to go up. You're just doing all the legwork for, and by the way, this is why the situation with Youngboy at Capitol, like, the majority of his album is over there Atlantic.
Yeah.
He might go back. You never know.
Yeah, it's I guess you're right. Like, because if Drake dropped an album under Sony,
yes,
brand new album, the minute he does that, Take Care for UMG's going up. Nothing was like, and Kendrick, same thing, right? When he drops new music, all of his catalog goes into the charts, right? So that's a good point.
So the way so Drake has immense amount of leverage at this point, right? But what somebody like Drake would do is like, all right, give me the money up front, but I want, after this deal, I get a quarter of the masters, so 25% of the masters of, let's say, Take Care and Nothing Was the Same or something. So what they'll do is give us new product and you'll gain pieces of your old product back. You get what I'm saying? And it'll incentivize the artist to stay. And again, those type of deals that is so cross-collateralized and is so leveraged in multiple different ways. They're leveraging your back catalog to recoup. They're also banking on you possibly wanting more ownership, so they're promising you more in the future, but more that you could possibly get in the past, and they're not going to give you more than half, honestly. That's kind of how, I mean, shit, I know about Youngboy's situation to a certain extent. He